the most ridiculous and weird tech gadgets from the last 25 years. Not every piece of technology is a smashing success. It also turns out that a significant number of them are total failures. The big consumer electronics show that is known as CES 2023 has come to an end, and it featured plenty of strange devices of its own, from toilets that can read your urine to cutting boards that have screens built into them. What if, though, we were to travel back in time to attend some of the earlier consumer electronics shows? Over the past 20 years and more, I've come across gizmos that are so mind-boggling that it's hard not to wonder whether they just exist so that writers like me may write about them. But, at this point, it is necessary to name and shame the people who are the worst of the worst. It's time to shine for MP3 weapon holsters, toilet paper robots, and vacuum shoes, among other things. The fact that some of these items, such as the Pepe Pet Dryer, the HAPIfork, and the Hush'em, to name just a few, are still being offered today is probably the aspect of this rogues gallery that is the most interesting. You got that right. You crazy people blasted it out of the water. Number 11. THYNC Vibe. Imagine that you were able to wear a small device that, in a couple of minutes, would either make you feel more energized or more peaceful. The Vibe, a product sold by the firm THYNC for a price of $199, is said to be able to affect your mood by sending low-level electrical pulses to your brain and activating nerves on your head and neck. This is the promise that lies behind the product. Vibes is what THYNC refers to these pulses, which are controlled by the wearer using an app that comes with the device. The company THYNC has been marketing its product as a replacement for coffee and alcohol. Nevertheless, critics have stated that the device does not live up to the expectations that were set for it. Number 10. The air purifying headphones by Dyson are called the Zone. Although they weren't officially a CES product because they weren't introduced until 2022, Dyson was showing off their Zone headphones in Las Vegas for the CES 2023 convention. Even though the Zone seems like it ought to function as a COVID mask, the reality is that it does not. According to the information provided on the Dyson website, the development of the Zone began back in 2016 as a personal air filter, primarily for pollution. As such, it was never intended to protect against COVID. In addition, one critic has asserted that the device's force-driven fans could contribute to an increase in the user's risk of contracting the coronavirus. Katie Collins of CNET gave it a try at Dyson's headquarters in the United Kingdom and found it was too amazing and strange to ignore. Number 9. Rollbot, Charmin. The computer peripherals firm Razer is the undisputed champion when it comes to developing look-at-me items that are tailored solely for CES. But the toilet paper brand Charmin gained notoriety for their participation in the 2020 CES Innovation Awards. That's right, in the same year when there was a widespread frenzy to stock up on toilet paper, a robot was invented that could bring you even more. Coincidence? Yep. Most likely. Even though the Rollbot was never going to become a genuine product, we still had strong feelings about it. Number 8. The Colibri Smart Toothbrush is a contender. Do you remember when we had to sing songs to ourselves while washing our hands for the required 20 seconds? The same procedure can also be used to wash your teeth, but there's no reason to utilize your lips and brain like a sucker for something like that. Throughout the years, there have been several different intelligent toothbrushes, but today I'm going to focus on the Colibri. Up until the moment the world's first linked electric toothbrush appeared on the scene, everything was running smoothly. May you have a wonderful birthday, and may you have a wonderful birthday. Number 7. Taser MP3 Holster. In the early 2000s, the iPod was such a cultural sensation that every firm scrambled to produce its MP3 player in an attempt to compete with its success. This led to the creation of the Taser MP3 holster, which is widely considered to be one of the most ridiculous things ever shown at CES. Imagine the hassle of attempting to charge your holster while also connecting it to your computer through USB to load it up with 1 GB of music at the same time. Number 6. Nintendo ROB. ROB, also known as the Robotic Operating Buddy, was Nintendo's most peculiar piece of hardware. Yes, it was even more bizarre than the Virtual Boy. R.O.B. was a functional robot for the Nintendo Entertainment System that was presented in 1985 as a Trojan horse toy to retailers who were terrified by the video gaming industry's plummet in 1983. R.O.B. was designed for the Nintendo Entertainment System. R.O.B. helped players solve game puzzles by viewing flashes on the television screen and then moving its motorized arms to stack or twirl tiny spindle-laden discs. R.O.B. was powered by 4 AAA batteries and received input from an NES gamepad. You can see ROB's DNA in everything from 1980's SIX's Johnny 5, Short Circuit, to 2008's Wall-E, even though he was short, eccentric, and pulled from development after just 2 games, Wall-E. Number 5. A trucker jacket designed by Jacquard by Google and a commuter by Levi's. The idea of electronic clothing may sound like a gimmick from a science fiction film, but Google and Levi's are working together to build a denim jacket that has serious intelligence built into it. The clothing is being marketed toward bikers who have difficulty reaching for their phones while they are riding their bikes. The electronic components of the jacket are housed in a detachable module that is attached to one of the sleeves. This module is part of the Google Jacquard technology that is integrated into the jacket. Taps made on the sleeve will allow wearers to find their way around and take control of the music being played. Number 4. Selfie toaster. This novelty equipment can scorch your cup onto a slice of rye bread for a total of $75, in addition to the cost of bread. It is the most exciting thing to happen to toast since the Virgin Mary emerged on a grilled cheese sandwich in 2004. Even though it's dubbed the selfie toaster, this appliance does not have an internet connection. Instead, customers are required to insert a unique laser-cut metal grilling plate into the appliance before depressing the lever to use it. This plate is supplied by Burn Impressions, the company that makes the grill. In case you were living under a rock in 2014 when the selfie toaster was first introduced, it is important to note that it is still on the market. Number 3. Smart Belt. Belty, the self-adjusting smart belt, captivated the world's attention during the opening night of CES 2015, the annual showcase for new gear that is held by the technology sector. Belty stole the focus from other items that were more deserving of attention. Belty is a waist belt that can either be tightened or expanded on the fly, depending on how much food you stuff into your lunch hole on any given day. It does this by wirelessly connecting to an app on a smartphone that keeps track of things like, well, waist size. The first version of Belty was constructed out of metal and plastic, which gave it a look that was both dazzling and industrial. It got people talking, but it didn't get them opening their wallets, not to mention the fact that the corporation didn't disclose either the price or the release date at the time. Now, more than a year and a half later, the business has unveiled a leather model that appears to be more conventional in appearance. However, there are still no specifics regarding how one might purchase one. Number 2. Mindwave EEG headset. When you can direct the actions of computer software with your thoughts, who needs a mouse and a keyboard? This is the premise that underpins Neurosky's Mindwave mobile EEG headset, a brainwave reading wearable that comes bundled with games and other applications that are designed to be controlled by the mental states of the user who is wearing the headset. The manufacturer also claims that the headset can assist you in monitoring the performance of your brain. Other headsets, such as the Emotive EPOC, have also been used for purposes comparable to those described here. Yet, early reports suggest that we are still a long way from having computers that are powered by our thoughts alone. Number 1. Terrafugia. People have been daydreaming about combining automobiles and airplanes for roughly the same amount of time that they have owned both types of transportation. Nonetheless, it cannot be denied that the idea itself is peculiar. Have a look at this iteration, which was developed by Terrafugia, which is situated in Massachusetts. When you first consider the concept, it may seem like a good idea to store your plane car in the garage and then drive it to the nearest airport when you are ready to take it to the air. However, if you consider how realistic this plan is, you may find that it is not such a good idea after all. Do we seriously want the average person who drives a car to also be able to fly? And flying automobiles are meant to have an awesome appearance, right? As in The Man with the Golden Gun, when there was an AMC Matador with wings? What happened to the concept that you had? It is important to note that the Terrafugia transition has experienced multiple delays, and it is currently unknown when the product will be delivered to customers. This is the end of today's video. Do you find it helpful? Must give your response in our comment section below, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more videos.